A lot of folks would just stop right here. In fact, a lot wouldn't even remove the seats. They would just vacuum as best they could and be done. And I'm not going to criticize any of you that would do that. This is certainly cleaner probably than a lot of people's vehicles, but I'm a big believer in doing a hot water extraction, which you might call the carpet shampoo. So these areas obviously get a lot of foot pressure and grinding in dirt and stuff, and that's why they need to be shampooed. Under the seat typically doesn't get that the dry vacuum probably picked up and got that pretty clean. But if you look over here, usually center console areas, there's a lot of spillage. And then it runs down and it just sits. There's no telling how long that stuff's been sitting, but with the hot water extractor, I'll be able to suck that out of there and have this carpet looking clean. The danger, of course, there's always a chance that you're going to pull up some of the carpet dye, so the carpet may be a little bit lighter when you're done. In a case like this, it's already pretty well faded. I'm sure this was black at some point. It's kind of a dark gray now, so it's probably not going to be that noticeable as far as damage wise. The other thing I found this. It was over here, tucked up, so I'll clean that one up like I did the rest of the trim. And you see the driver's side is worse than the passenger side with the spills. Thankfully, I don't think any of that is vomit. A lot of times with the police cars, you'll find big piles of vomit. I think this is just food spills, drink spills. But I got that clean as far as vacuumed, but it's going to need the shampooing to really make a difference. So what I typically will do is I'll do the driver's side first, just so it can start drying, and then I'll do the passenger side. And when you have them off the car, this is an ideal time to clean any nasty goo that might be under here. These areas tend to accumulate a lot of goo, spilled drinks and food and so forth. So definitely the time to do it. And then I like to do floor mats off of the car. I'll actually scrub them and hose them and hang dry them, so those will be super clean. And then you see like the side of the seat. This is a great opportunity to wipe all those down. Clean up anything that you didn't see when it was in the car that you can see now. And there is the first pass, probably the only pass that I will do this go around. If I was keeping the car, I'd eventually do it again, although I probably wouldn't take the seats out to do the second pass. I'd just do the carpets there. Some of you have seen my other videos where I use the Bissell. This is my Hoover one. It's just the Bissell's at home and the Hoover's at the shop basically. But there's the clear water going in, and there is the dirty, looks like coffee, coming out. And I guarantee you can shampoo the carpets 3 or 4 times and still get that kind of dirty water out. Officially, when you use one of these, you're supposed to do a wet pass and then a dry pass, or 2 wet passes and then a dry pass, something like that. The reality is, when you're working in these environments, you try to do that, but sometimes you got to kind of go back and forth with wet passes to get stains up, or get creative to get into some of the gaps and so forth. So we'll do our best to do wet pass, dry pass, but it usually doesn't work out that way in reality. And the main thing is obviously extract as much of the water as possible. Don't leave the water in the car. because that's when you get the mildew smells. Alright, so the passenger side's done and the driver's side is done. And there is always a risk if you're in a cooler climate or having colder temperatures, like we're in the 50s right now. For Texas, that's ice cold. So there's always a risk when you do this and it's colder like that this won't dry well and will mildew. So I'm just going to have to watch it. Probably put a fan in here and let it blow for a while, see if that helps. As no matter how good you do with the carpet shampooer, it's just inevitable. You leave a little dampness in here. On a 100-degree Texas day, that's never an issue. It'll dry up, but 50-degree day, it's always a risk of mildew. Floor mats, I like to do them off the car. Spray some cleaner degreaser on them. They're usually filthy. And just scrub them really good. Grease will get in fibers. I usually find once or twice a year it's good to do this as a tune-up for your existing ones, and obviously you can do this a couple times if they're really stained and dirty.